Hello everybody, and thank you for viewing this demo of the Clavinet Clone. This is very exciting because this is not like any other Clavinet plugin you've ever used. This is different. And let me start off by explaining a few things. Right, a real clavinet is a stringed instrument and there's pickups, and you get 4 different tone possibilities with a D6. You get A and C over here on these little switch buttons. You get D and A, B and D, and C and B. So right now we have released the first of 4 packages, and that's the AC tone. And we expect to release the other ones, soon. But right now we've got 1 of 4, and what's neat about this is that it's already 21.5 gigs uncompressed at 96K 24-bit. Every single note here has over 127 sample velocity layers from this clav. So, we're talking extreme detail, and every single time you hit a note, you are not going to hit the same sound twice. Statistically, it's almost nearly impossible. So it's going to sound more real than almost every single one I'm hitting is a different tone. And what's also great about this is that there are release noises, like the little clicks from the hammers. And every single note has its own release samples. Some of them up to 127 layers, actually. So you're getting extreme detail with even the release sounds of each note. They're not shared. No samples are borrowed. No samples are pitch modified. No samples are reused or recycled. Every single sample on the Clavinet Clone is unique. And what's cool about this, on a clavinet patches, we can adjust the release sound, generally the whole keyboard, just, get that tweak. With the Clavinet Clone, I could do that for any note I want, individually. So, let's say it's this D. I can scroll until I find the D, or I can use my convenient MIDI key press and press the D and it'll appear on the screen. Now, I'm not controlling any other note except for the D. Now let's turn the release noise up a little, drastically, but so this just has a bad hammer. It's sticky. It's popping the string, which might happen on a real clavinet. So every note's not going to have the same exact level of click. And not only that, we can adjust the volume. So let's just make that D a little louder. Let's turn the click noise up on it. Let's turn the click noise off of it. Let's turn the volume all the way down. I have a broken string. So, and that might happen on a real clav. You might have one broken string. You might have some notes that are louder or softer. And, and that all depends on the hammers, the attack, the velocity, the pickups, where the strings lie to the pickups, the distance between the pickups. There are so many variables. And so this Clavinet Clone allows you to really tweak the thing to get it to sound just like a real clav or your clav. And what's cool about this also is that, let's go back to, let's reset. We press the reset default. And now all of our volumes and all of our settings are back to the way they were initially. Okay. And I want to show you that on my real clav here, the D and the B actually kind of went a little flat. Before every single gig, I might not tune my clavinet. Surely I'm going to do it in the studio, but if I have several gigs in a week, I might not tune it for every single gig. And seasonally, yes, a great deal of strings may go slightly flat or sharp, but sometimes only one note may, or 2 notes may, or 3, and that just depends on the tuning peg. If it's tight, how often you play it, the condition of the string. There are a lot of factors that can cause that to happen. So on this one, this is flat. Hear that it's flat. So let's take our Clavinet Clone. I can hear it's a little flat. We're going to select that D. or that B, I'm sorry. And we're going to make that flat. See, we have control over just a very fine tune of this. So now, I've got that basically to the same tune. Same thing with the D. Now this is slightly detuned. So now we're talking just barely detuned, and that has, it's a play on the sound that you're going to get out of your clav. So much tweakability, it's ridiculous. And we can go back to our default settings anytime, but as long as we don't hit the default button, every single change that we do will stick. So you can customize every note the way you want it, save your preset, and you've got that clav. You've got one with maybe a broken A. Maybe you're used to playing with one. Maybe you didn't have time to. Maybe you broke a string on stage. These are realistic possibilities. And when you have a clav, it's what you get. So this is allowed to make it imperfect. You can make this imperfect, and you can do it to your liking and then save it. And so now let's say I want to just reset and go back to normal. I'm not happy. I just push the default, and I'm back to all notes. So I can adjust the release noise of all notes, but I can't, I can obviously adjust the volume via volume. And I can adjust the tune via, a tune on the, up here on, the So we're not going to do that, but I can do each individual note. And that's about as high as it's going to get. It's just barely to the next semitone. So you can get this tweaked exactly how you want it. And this thing is just, it's so cool. It really is. And it's available now.